It's November 1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon the horror film by the name of The Conjuring. This film is directed by the director by the name of James Wan, previously known for directing films such as Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious, and then later on out this year, he's coming out with a film by the name of the sequel to Insidious, Insidious Chapter 2. This film stars actors and actresses such as Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, and Lily Taylor. Now, the plot of The Conjuring is pretty simple. We have a family that it takes place in the early 70s, and I believe, and we have a family who just moved into the new home, and they start to hear all these weird sounds, doors are opening by themselves, that sort of thing. The woman plays a game with her kids by the name of Hide and Clap, and when she goes to look for one of the kids in a wardrobe, she hears clapping, she looks in the wardrobe, no one's there. So all these paranormal things are starting to happen at this house. Well, the things get so severe when they go find Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's character. These two characters are paranormal investigators, and they have these two paranormal investigators come out to their house to find out what exactly is haunting their house and how exactly to get rid of the haunting that's happening in their house. That's pretty much the main gist of the horror film directed by James Wan by the name of The Conjuring. Overall, my thoughts and opinions on The Conjuring, this was an amazing horror film. It was scary, it was eerie, it was creepy, and overall, I just really enjoyed it. Let's talk about performance-wise. Overall, I really thought that people who stole the show are definitely the three main actors. Let's talk about Vera Farmiga first. I love her in her role on the television A&E series with the name of Bates Motel. She plays the role of Norma Bates. She plays, Norma Bates' mother, and she plays a great mom in that. Well, I really enjoyed her in this also. I really wish, in all honesty, I wish her character would have been used a little bit more. She's a pretty main character, especially towards the end, but until that point, she's more of a supporting character. She plays a huge role towards the actual end of the film, but overall, for the time and the scenes that Vera Farmiga was in the film, called The Conjuring, the horror film for this year, I really enjoyed her performance. She's in a nice little, if you've seen the film, she's in a nice little sentimental teen scene towards the end. I won't say too much, I don't want to reveal the plot of the spoilers about the movie, but overall, she really steals those scenes. There's a great scene where she falls through the house and she's screaming, and she has just a great, I guess you could say, iconic scream voice that I just love when she screams. She's really good at portraying that her character is actually, scared out of her life and overall scared out of her mind. Vera Farmiga is a great role. Patrick Wilson, previously known for being in James Wan, other director film by the name of Insidious, he was great in Insidious, and I have to say, a really stellar performance in The Conjuring also. He plays the one towards the a little bit of spoilers coming up. He plays the one towards the end who actually does the actual exorcism, and I love those scenes with him where he's actually trying to get the demon out of, cause the demonologist, he's actually the one that tries to get the demon out of Lily Taylor's character, and during those exorcism scenes, Patrick Wilson really steals the show, throwing holy water, putting his cross out, kind of like a vampire, putting his cross out towards the demon, being a demonologist and all, and overall, Patrick Wilson does great in those exorcism scenes, playing his role in a very determined manner where he really wants to help out this family, but you can also tell that his character is a little scared too because of what previously happened with his wife, Vera Farmiga's character. So overall, Vera and Patrick Wilson really stole the show. Lily Taylor is previously known for being in a television Netflix series, or not television, but Netflix original series by the name of Hemlock Grove, where she plays the werewolf's mother. And I really liked her in that, and I have to say, Lily Taylor plays a great mother arc character. She plays that great mother character later on, actually getting possessed and trying to kill her kid because, the demon has a hold of her, and that's what she wants to do, because that's the plot of the film. And Lily Taylor really steals the show too. So overall, performance-wise, you really have some solid performances in the James Wan directed horror film by the name of The Conjuring for the year of 2013. So performance-wise, those three actors really stole the show. But what makes The Conjuring tick? What makes it creepy? Well, what really made this film creepy was, the film's not really that bloody. You maybe have two bloody scenes, the puking towards the end, and, when she takes a chunk out of the guy's neck and makes him bleed. Those are really the only two blood sequences. So what makes this film scary? Well, this horror film is one of those, few that doesn't have to use blood, and it doesn't have to use gore to be scary. It takes those old school scares and puts those old school scares to the extreme and makes, what made 80s films really scary without having to use all that blood and gore again. I am a gore hound. I do love my blood. I do love my guts. I do love my gore, but this film takes all that away, and it makes what true horror really should be. It really uses dark corridors to its advantages, or doors opening, doors closing, people, wandering around, in the dark. It uses all those, I guess you could say those classic, horror terms to the extreme, and it really makes, it scary again without having to use all that blood and gore and just taking those, old school things and making them scary again. There's some great sequences, where like this kind of 80s synth music will kind of play, and it won't play for very long, but it'll play like a ball's thrown, and these really high-pitched music will start to play, and it works great to the advantages. The sound mix in this film, certain camera angles really work to the advantage of this film, and overall just make it really scary, especially towards the end when the entire, major spoilers coming up, especially towards the end when the entire house starts to shake, and you hear like this bum, 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 and the music gets really fast right there at that moment. Kind of like the Jaws kind of music. It didn't sound like that. That's what it reminded me of. That kind of classic theme. When the music really starts to pick up, you really feel the anxiety and the panic in not only in yourself, but in the characters also, equaling up to just be a great time in general. I can't recommend, a better horror film going around to see, because in the summer, you really don't have, a lot of horror films to see, mainly summer, blockbusters and superhero films like Man of Steel and Pacific Rim, So The Conjuring was a nice horror treat, for a film I wasn't really expecting to see a horror film in the summer, and I'm glad The Conjuring came out so I could see it. So performance-wise, great. Some nice, really eerie scenes. If I had to sum up what The Conjuring was, it's a film that is, it takes place in the 70s, though it was released in the year of 2013, and it tries to play itself off as kind of an older, and I guess you could say an older and medieval horror meets The Exorcist. It kind of plays itself off as those two things. It even reminded me of The Evil Dead at times, especially when some of the women were being tossed around and stuff. It even reminded me of that. Just a little bit when the women were being tossed around, because it had sort of a Sam Raimi vibe, similar to what Drag Me to Hell had. So that kind of thing, in Evil Dead, people getting tossed around and the demon talking, it had moments of that in it. But mainly, The Exorcist, because there's even moments where the characters are breathing cold air, and that's just like in the original Exorcist film back in 1968, I believe, when it first came out. I'm pretty sure it's when it first came out. Anyways, so kind of like the medieval horror, a classic haunted house kind of vibe, with the house being haunted, and the woman being haunted inside Lily Taylor's character, and then The Exorcist, towards the end, where they actually have to get the demon up out of her. So really nice. It's a lot different, than, we've had several possession movies in the previous years, Devil Inside, The Possession, but it's a lot different than those modern day ones. This one kind of goes back to the olden days and doesn't take any of those new modern day things, and it takes it back to, where it actually took place in, I believe, 1971, based on somewhat supposedly true events, I believe, and it kind of takes everything back to what horror once was, without using all the modern day terms. Overall, I love The Conjuring. Straight up, 5 out of 5 stars. From what I understand, The Conjuring has already been announced for a sequel. So they're already developing a sequel, and apparently Vera Farmiga and both Patrick Wilson's character are going to reprise their roles in The Conjuring 2. I'll put a link in the description below to that article that New Line Cinema has announced. But anyways, that's my opinions on the horror from the name of The Conjuring, 5 out of 5. Once again, thanks for watching the video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos by Centipede Geek.